Force A1s would be sitting strip alert in Thailand over here. That's where they got them orbiting. Some of the stuff, I don't even know what a PIRADS is, for crying out loud. That's where I went down the first time. And that's where I went down the second time.
Not even a month later, or just over a month later.
Yeah, 35 days later.
So when you had the, being shot down twice like that, did you have any say in whether or not you could stay or you're going back? Or?
I told him I wanted to stay, and he said, "You're going home."
It's more expensive than aircraft.
Yeah, they couldn't afford me.
John, were you the first guy to get shot down twice in North Vietnam and rescued?
You know, I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember what was in when Thunder rolled, what they said in there. I kind of thought I got that
It
impression.
might have been, I might have been the first guy. We had a lot of guys get shot down once. I mean, like I said, we had 16 airplanes and 8 pilots, so we had 8 other pilots that got picked up. That's the area. This is the area here. This is Hai Phong way down here, and I'm up in here somewhere.
All right, you can see all the little islands there.
Yeah.
Where was your target in the bridge?
It was, where's, what happened to Hanoi?
There it
There it
is.
is.
Over on the left in the middle.
Way over here. It's right here.
You had a ways to go to get out over the water.
You had some real estate to cover.
Yeah,
You ever been back in the theater since then?
I've overflown it in a UPS airplane.
Oh, you have to see that down there? Yeah.
Looks pretty good from 30,000,
It
huh?
looks great from 30,000. This is just going to show the defenses, the threat circles of the highest defended areas. So there were a lot of guns out there.
Is that you now?
There I am. I'm way up there. And this is that shipping lane I was talking about. It comes down into Hai
And
Phong.
that right squiggle right there is where you, that's where you were sitting in the middle of the water and there were a lot of mortars at you.
Yeah, right in here. There's all kinds of islands there. It's a pretty interesting place. There's the A1. There's a classic shot of the A1 with a toilet strapped on it. It actually went up and dropped a toilet off an A1. Bombed it the toilet. And
I was just on that.
that's just the carrier the A1s were parked on.
Have you ever been on it, John? It's in New York. The Intrepid is in
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah. Keep going. It's just, they had a big deal. They said they're gonna head up to find me. And that's my egress route. That's how we got back out. They actually made 2 tries trying to come in and get me. The first time they had to turn around and come back out. And then the second time, the second A1 led the helicopter back in. Because they knew where I was, but the helicopter didn't know where I was.
And they knew just based on visual, or could they do some kind of,
Flown over you, right?
They flew over me.
but
The
when they led the helicopter
A1
back?
has a direction finder,
Okay.
and of course, my radio could put on guard.
Okay,
So he could DF me
Okay.
on the way
Okay.
in. So that's how they found me. They DF'd me. That's,
Are those fuel pods underneath? Is that-
yeah, those are fuel tanks on that guy.
So what did the 16 do for you?
He tried to get in to pick me up.
Oh,
It's a flying boat.
okay.
that would an HU-16.
That was like water, like pontoon.
Yeah, it's a big old flying boat. This is the
There's a nest too.
yep, but this is the one where all the helicopters were based on, this guy.
Which one is the one you got dragged back to?
Oh, the Constellation, I don't have a picture of the Constellation. It was a brand new carrier back then. Okay. This is a guy who was the aircraft commander, a guy named Preston Matthews. He passed away about 10 years ago, though. There's a helicopter.
Sea King.
Okay. And that's actually a cruiser. That's what they told me it was anyways.
Learned a lot about the Navy, didn't you?
I wouldn't know.
Did you get your Navy wings so I can share first?
No.
You can get on her.
And there's a nice picture of him in
Sydney Harbor.
Sydney Harbor.
Yeah.
And he's got his missiles on board and all that kind of stuff. I guess those missiles could reach out a long ways, so.
You said with the destroyer that they had, they hovered?
I'll show you a picture of it.
That's the Chicago.
So this is a Vietnam era destroyer?
It's a cruiser.
That's
a big
cruiser, yeah. That's a destroyer.
There's a destroyer.
That's a destroyer.
They're little bitty things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A little bigger than.
Okay, so here they're gonna come in and refuel. This is actually a pretty good sized helicopter. So here they go, they're gonna go get the fuel line. Now, later on, they did have breakaway things and all that. This is a little later picture, but it's still the darndest thing I've ever been involved in. Now they're pumping gas to him. Now, we slid out, oh, there he goes, and he just hovered out there.
Now, is this the actual aircraft that you were on, or?
No, well, it's similar. It's not the one I was on.
Wasn't the destroyer underway while they were hovering?
Oh, sure.
I was gonna say, because it's much easier to, just fly
Yeah,
formation.
he's chugging
rather
along.
than
I
try to
think they
hover.
said 25 knots, something. He really cranks it up, 30 knots maybe, whatever
For
full
the boat,
speed is.
yeah.
Yeah. There's where I am again in all these, there's a lot of mud flats up in there.
Yeah, you're like behind a barrier reef kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead. And this, I think, it shows where they tried to come in and get me, and they had to turn around and come back out because of the intense ground fire.
I'm amazed you survived the punch out.
So am I. This is inside their helicopter. I thought that'd be of some interest, and everything's armor plated in there. You got all kinds of junk laying around in there.
Were you injured at all?
Burned and cut, and yeah, you kind of feel like you've been through a car wreck when that happens. That's just a picture of him blazing away out the window.
Was this on the actual flight?
No, these are just some pictures they put together.
Okay.
So, yeah, go
I was
ahead.
gonna ask if you had your cell phone with you at the time.
Yeah, I wish. We had these great big radios. I happened to carry 2 of them at the time, though.
Couldn't take a selfie with those.
No. Go ahead. I think,
Looks like he's.
this is an A1. Yeah, now, here's how they get in the second time to find me. They couldn't, that's okay. They had to turn around here because there were so many guns on that island. They just couldn't get past it, so then they just kind of flew around it to come in and get me. And there's a guy being hoisted in.
Horse collar?
And you see the shells jumping out.
Yep.
Where's the beanie weenie can? They used to use beanie weenie
This is
cans
out of an A1 again. I don't know
Right.
exactly what that is.
for the belt.
Oh, these are the guys who picked me up. I never knew they had a press conference for these guys in
All 3 of them?
in Saigon. Well, there were 2 enlisted and two officers flying the helicopter. This one guy's an A1 driver. The guy in the middle is an A1 driver. And the other guy's the hoist operator, to the left, whose brother flies for UPS. That's how the helicopter squadron found me.
Oh,
Who's that? Is he still with us?
No, he's retired. That's the guy, the aircraft commander. And he was a lieutenant. He was checking out a lieutenant commander who was about to take over the squadron. So that was this guy's in the right seat, or in the left seat, his first mission.
Lieutenant Air Force is captain, Lieutenant Navy captain Air Force.
These are the guys, they're happy. I was happy. Okay. That was it. Of interest, what happened at this deal, they did this again at Pensacola in the museum there. And at that one, they had the remaining Escort helicopter crew. And the Navy, they never had combat rescue wings, I guess that the Navy gives. And the Navy wouldn't do it, so the Marines awarded them a combat rescueman's wings. It's kind of interesting ceremony. It was all done at Pensacola.
That's a Sikorsky wing nest there.
Yeah.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
They give you that if you do a rescue in a Sikorsky helicopter.
And there's a thud with 8 750s on it, 6 under the belly and 1 on each outboard pylon.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Did they give you credit for knocking the bridge out, or?
Yeah, they did, as a matter of fact. It was funny. Oh, this just shows A1's dropping cracks, so you don't have to go through that. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
Taking the bridge out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. The next morning I went with the Admiral, since now I was like his trusty sidekick lieutenant, Air Force guy, and they were going to send an RA-5C reconnaissance airplane in to photograph that. And he said, my lieutenant said, the bridge is down. I'm not going to put that airplane at risk to take a picture when he said it's down. And about maybe 3 days later, an Air Force RF-4 came through, or RF-101 came through, and the bridge was down. It was kind of interesting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there were lots of medals thrown around that day. So, the helicopter guys are truly the bravest dudes I've ever met, because, I was scared going 500 knots, and these guys are putzing around at about 100 knots for crying out loud.
Shot at.
Or getting shot at, and a great bunch of guys. So that's it. Any other questions?
Hey, John, that high G snap roll, is that the same maneuver that Ed Rasmus describes in the beginning of when Thunder Rolled talks about when he was in training, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, told him, give this a try, and he almost crashed.
Yeah, that was the same maneuver.
Because he started it too slow, I
Yeah,
think is what the problem is.
yeah. That would be Fat Raz, as we call them. But unfortunately, he's passed away. So.
That is a good book, guys. This little bit John described, I mean, I knew it from reading the book, but now I know the rest of the story. And it is, you're reading it and you're like, oh my God, if you didn't know that here's the man, you'd think that you're talking about a guy who's about to die. And so there's a better part of the chapter with you in it.
Yeah, it describes why I got shot down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shaved my mustache
Yeah.
off.
You gonna tell us about that, Jim? Read the book.
Yeah, it's in the book. No, we've been to Bangkok and we were chasing stews, and I always looked real young, and so I had this really ratty mustache, and we were trying to convince him we were fighter pilots, and he looked at me and said, "You're way too young to be doing any of that," So I said, "That's it." So I went back and I shaved my mustache off. Everybody told me not to, and then I got shot down the next day.
Change your score.
So nobody would shave their mustache. That was just like when you get ready to go fly, the chaplain would have to be out in the Army area where they pull the pins on the bombs to arm them all up so you could release them. And if the chaplain wasn't there, nobody'd take off till a chaplain showed up to bless the airplane. Honest to God. It was a big deal.
So John, when you described where your four-ship formation went in to take the target out and the SAM came up, had you seen it coming up at you, or they three went one way, you went the other? Was it just fortuitous that you went that way?
No, one of the other guys saw the SAMs and said break. And so
And so just normal, you would have broke the opposite direction from the other
No,
through a three
no,
ship, or?
no. Normally you break,
Together.
into the sand. Actually, what you wanna do is go downhill and get him tipped over coming downhill at you, and then you do kind of a rolling pull into him. And the missile's going so darn fast, you can't turn a corner with you. But
Do
you
they
had to
use
see
heat sensors or optical
the
sensors?
radar,
Radar?
radar, SA-2s. But, you know, they were brand new then, not many guys had seen missiles before, they just put them in. So, it was early on.
And what kind of speed do those SA-2s fly at? What's the closure
Mach
of
2
them?
plus.
Mach 2 plus, okay. So you don't have much time to react?
They're big though, they're
Uh-huh.
real big missiles. You still gotta see them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in a lot of books, they're described as telephone poles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big old telephone poles.
Yeah, I seen an Air Force film, two pilots were in this airplane, the one guy's watching the SAM come up, and it looked like a huge telephone pole, and they broke, did an evasive maneuver, and it went by, and it would have just terrified me if I'd seen something like that.
Yeah, I of course wasn't terrified at all.
Yeah.
It's too quick for it.
So, I thought I'd show you that, you know, so what you guys do is really important, because it's really nice getting rescued, let me tell you.
Thank you, Colonel.
John, it's good to see you again.
That was good.
The presentation.
Well, folks, that concludes the meeting tonight. Let's maybe hang around and visit with John a little bit, and I'm done. Is there anything else anybody has on their mind? Or
Just
wants to
one
talk
thing, they're looking for people to fly cadets again this weekend. If you can, either on Saturday or Sunday, let Todd Hamilton know, just send him an email. And I think Saturday's gonna be a wash because of weather, but Sunday looks like a good one, but the temperatures are supposed to drop down to freaking like 20 degrees.
Got the snow
So,
That's not.
I don't know if it'll go off or not, who knows?
Okay, let's not talk about engine preheat.
That's a preheat situation.
Watch the time on 884.